Before we get into today's incredible story about one of the most surprising rare coins ever minted, make sure you hit that subscribe button right now. If you're someone who loves history, hidden value, forgotten treasures, and the thrill of discovering something extraordinary where people least expect it, then this channel is made for you. Subscribe, turn on the notifications, and stay with me till the end, because today's coin has a story powerful enough to make anyone look twice at even the smallest piece of copper in their old drawers. Now let's begin. There is something special about holding a coin that's older than most people watching this video. The 1964 South African half-center coin is one of those pieces that quietly carries almost 6 decades of history within its tiny frame. It's small, yes, almost too small for modern standards, but its value goes far beyond its size. It represents a chapter of South Africa's past that was defined by change, identity, craftsmanship, and a minting tradition that collectors around the world still admire to this day. When you pick up a coin from 1964, you are not just holding metal, you are holding a preserved moment from an era long gone. The half-cent was part of a coin series that South Africans used daily during the 1960s. These were the coins in pockets, in cash boxes, in shop tills, and in the hands of people across the country. They were minted during a time when precision and detail still mattered, when coin creators took pride in their work, and when even the smallest denomination was produced with careful attention. But what makes the 1964 half-cent particularly fascinating is how it has survived, or more accurately, how few have survived in top condition. You must remember, coins of small value were handled more roughly than large ones. They were used constantly, dropped, scratched, rubbed, worn down, exposed to weather, moisture, metal corrosion, and the inside of hundreds of pockets. That means almost all half-cent coins from 1964 are now heavily worn. Their edges faded, their text softened, their shine completely gone. The few that still look sharp, clean, and well-preserved today are incredibly rare. And as every experienced collector knows, rarity plus condition equals value. The design of the 1964 South African half-center coin features an iconic pair of Cape sparrows, a simple, peaceful image that represents everyday life, nature, and the common man. It may appear simple at first, but coin experts admire the detail in the feathering, the shape of the wings, and the delicate artistic balance of the entire design. On the other side, the South African coat of arms of the era appears with crisp lettering and strong texture, at least in versions that survived without heavy wear. When a collector sees a perfectly preserved example, they immediately know they are looking at something special. Like all old coins, the 1964 half-cent has factors that massively affect its value: condition, rarity, minting variations, and collector demand. But what makes this coin stand out is something more subtle, something most people don't realize. The minting process in the 1960s was not as consistent as modern machines. As a result, there are slight variations in detail, rim thickness, die pressure, metal tone, and strike quality. Some coins have deeper engraving, some have faint lines around the birds, some display slightly misaligned lettering, and a small number show unusual striking marks that collectors consider highly desirable. Serious collectors, especially men in their 50s and 60s who have been studying coins for decades, are experts at spotting these tiny differences. They can look at two coins that appear identical to the average person and immediately tell which one is more valuable. And when they find a 1964 half-cent with unusual features or exceptional preservation, they do not hesitate. They know exactly how rare it is. Another factor increasing the value of this coin is the survival rate. Most people treated half-cent coins as meaningless because of their tiny value. They were not collected, not preserved, not stored carefully. Many were lost, thrown away, melted, or forgotten in old drawers that were later emptied out. Decades passed, and the number of surviving pieces dropped dramatically. Today, the number of top-grade examples is extremely small. And in the rare coin world, scarcity is everything. Collectors often describe coins from the 1960s as sleepers, coins that remain unnoticed for decades but suddenly explode in value when the world realizes how few remain. The 1964 half-cent is one of those. In recent years, more collectors have begun paying attention to early South African decimal coins, especially those that show outstanding craftsmanship. As more collectors enter the market, demand rises. And when multiple collectors want the same rare coin, prices climb quickly. Another thing that makes the 1964 half-cent particularly valuable is nostalgia. Men between the ages of 55 and 65 remember these coins. They saw them, used them, and grew up with them. That emotional connection fuels the market. Collectors in this age group have both the passion and the purchasing power to chase coins from their youth. When a coin carries both history and personal memory, it becomes more than just a collectible. It becomes a symbol of time itself. Some high-quality 1964 half-cent coins have even been submitted to grading authorities. When a coin is graded and certified, it receives an official score that confirms its condition. A certified high-grade piece from 1964 becomes a treasure with documented rarity, protected forever in a sealed slab. These are the coins that can reach the highest prices at auctions, private sales, and collector exchanges. Collectors also look for early strike versions, the first few coins produced with fresh, unworn dies. These early strikes often show stronger details, sharper lines, smoother surfaces, and deeper texture. A 1964 half-cent early strike is extremely rare and can command extraordinary value. Add even a minor variation or misstrike, and the coin becomes even more sought after. The global numismatic community has begun turning more attention toward African coins in general. Over the last decade, rare coins from Africa have been achieving record-breaking sales. As collectors worldwide expand their interests, demand for key dates like 1964 continues to grow. Once demand goes global, price ceilings disappear. And because the supply will never increase, coins cannot be unmelted, unlost, or undamaged. Scarcity becomes permanent. Now think about everything you've heard so far. The age, the rarity, the condition challenges, the minting variations, the historical value, the nostalgia, the international demand, and the diminishing supply. All of these factors combine to create a perfect storm of value. A tiny coin once worth almost nothing now stands among the most desirable small-denomination coins from its era. And the more awareness grows, the more collectors begin searching for it. You've stayed through the history, the craftsmanship, the rarity, the variations, and the global interest. Now it's time for the moment you've been waiting for, the value. The 1964 South African half-center coin, in its rarest form, with the highest grade, the strongest strike, the most unique variation, and the highest collector demand, has a potential estimated value of $70 million.